Hey everyone, welcome. How's it going? Yeah, I saw it just now, and of course that means because of how well automation is structured, is I gotta navigate through 18 folders through my on my SSD to get to the correct folder. There you go, car save import. All right, how's everyone doing? Gonna start up automation real quick, and then we can get into some of these cars. Can you hear me all right? By the way, is everything working? This is my new stream. This is my first stream on the new PC. Okay, cool. All right. Let me switch over to automation since it's already loaded now. There we go. Also, Grid goes, that's not how it works. You don't get to submit like what is it? And for the same stream when everyone else just gets to submit one. So there's another one. Anyway, just all right. What do we start? Let's. I've already looked through all of these except for these two last-minute submissions. Now this one and this one. Let's just go through them real quick. So this one is by UNOS, and it's a little hatchback here. It's for 82. I would say this is a hot hatchback, but although it's a fairly small engine, 925cc inline-3 with a turbo, making 108 horsepower. Remember, at the time, this would have competed with the Mark I Golf GTI, which had what, like 110 horsepower? Something like that. And I think the GTI actually weighed more than 749 kilos, so yeah. Although the turbo is very 80s, for sure. And the intercooler is way too large. The intercooler is made for 1800 horsepower, and it makes not even 10% of that. That's funny. Anyway. Oh, there's the other one that we just got. The second one was actually a pretty similar car, although way more performance oriented. This is a 1.4 liter turbo engine in this hatchback. So this is absolutely a hot hatchback with 200 horsepower. For 1982, this thing is going to be pretty quick. No downforce to speak of whatsoever. And a fairly large exhaust pipe that you can see from the front of the car, and as well as the intercooler here. So yeah. that's the precursor of what people later did to the Honda Civic, I guess. But this has a lot of torque even down low, so this is completely different from that other engine. I've already exported these first two cars to BeamNG, by the way, this one and this one, and this as well. I've also checked this out. The Mara Paragon. Now this is a nimble little sports coupe, I guess. 2.3 liter inline-4, 230 horsepower, naturally aspirated. very consistent torque throughout the rev range. Revs to what, 7600 I think. Yeah. And this one does come on semi-slick, so I'm wondering if this is some sort of spec racer. As you would normally put semi-slicks on a car of this power level. Welcome Grid Ghost. It's not that you were necessarily too late, but like 5 cars? Everyone else submitted 1 and you submitted 5. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time for all of them, but anyway. So this one here was submitted by Nocturne with 47 horsepower from a 1.4 liter inline 4. This is a 1978 taxi, I guess. Reminds me a little bit of the Travi, of the Trabant. And of course, I think the livery is quite well done with the decals here. What does it say? Okay, that's cool. Let's look at the engine as well. Yeah, very low range, very like strong, well, strong in air quotes, low range, low RPM torque. This is definitely not an engine that you're gonna wind out all the time, and that makes sense for a taxi. You want at least some fuel economy from it, so you're gonna keep it in the lower RPMs, and that's where this engine is happiest. All right. The Hindustan Ambassador knockoff. The real life version makes as little as 37 horsepower in the diesel versions. Yeah, I mean, small cars like this, well, didn't really make much power in the 70s. So 47 is, I think, adequate anyway. I mean, just think of the 1.2 liter Opel Kadett. It made 50 horsepower as well, and the 1.2 liter I think was the best-selling version of it. This is the car from Teacup, I think, which for some reason has red tires. It makes me automatically think of the Fast and Furious game on PS2, where you can have a different color tire smoke when you drift. So you could have red tire smoke. I don't know. Maybe we'll see that later. Anyway, 1.7 liter inline 3 turbo, 276 horsepower. Oh no, this is not Teacup submission. This is... Wait, who is this by? This is Otherall submission, sorry. Because Teacups also sent in a sort of MX-5-esque build. I think. Hold on. Yeah. Wait. Now I'm confused. Wait, whose car is this? This is Teacups. And it's just Teacups' car, sorry. Got confused there for a second. This is Teacups' entry. But anyway, yeah, the red tires definitely are an interesting choice. 276 horsepower. is gonna be quite a lot for this low weight. Lots of torque as well. This thing's making some boost. 1.3 bars. No intercooler at all. Probably not great for reliability. Yeah. Anyway. Let's export this one and let's see if we're gonna get red tire smoke, although I doubt it. That'd be cool though. This one is by who is that? What's the name of this user here? Now I can't see the full name of the users because streamer mode is enabled in Discord. It's disabled as Killer Coast. Okay, there we go. Made this car 2007. The body is of course the modern Mustang coupe-ish, Mustang-ish coupe, I guess, and it's got a little bit of Pontiac GTO, I guess, from the early 2000s. I don't know, maybe a little bit, not really. Anyway, this has a 2.2 liter inline 4 turbo, 300 horsepower. The body is supposed to be a Bentley concept, really? Okay. Don't really see much Bentley in that coupe, but yeah, anyway, engine looks good, lots of torque. I think that's kind of a theme today, isn't it? Lots of turbo engines, lots of, you know, very mid-range torquey engines. So we got that, and then we go back and look at the HFF Motors DR1. Oh, I've already had it, just forgot to expand it there. So this has a, hang on, this has a 500cc turbo inline 3 with 132 horsepower, and it's kind of it's a buggy, really. That's cool. I like that. Definitely more creative than most of the cars, actually. Like this looks really cool. 651 kilos is also about right. The torque figures are also about right, considering how small the engine is. Is this rear-wheel drive? All-wheel drive, okay. 650 kilos with all-wheel drive, that's pretty good. And it's got all-terrain tires, so we might go rallying a little bit with this. Unbreakable fixtures, we said, and like this. I'm not quite sure what car from Grid Ghost I should try. I'm just gonna pick the first one for now. I mean, I guess I can download them all, and then we can get into. We can decide which ones we wanna drive later on. Just to give each one of them a little glance and then see which ones I want to drive. Are those crossplay all-terrain tires? Shoot. Yeah, they are. Good catch. Yeah, let's go radio. Oh my, look at how the cornering behavior changed. Just from that. Just from going from crossplay to radial tires. Also the cornering G's went from 0.91 to 0.81. Radials 175s. 175s all around. Okay. Breakable fixtures, and let's do this. Yeah, but it's got all-wheel drive, so I'm thinking it should work. We'll see. Yeah, let's... Okay, so this was the first one. So this is a key car, 660cc, 600 kilos, 64 horsepower. I mean, considering how little power this makes, this might actually be a fairly like zippy little city car. It's also probably gonna use almost no fuel at all. Wait, is it an inline-3 with no balancing shaft or anything? And yeah, reliability is a bit suspect. Okay. It's not meant to be red tires, it's meant to be a mother texture. So we'll roll with the red tires for now, so that it makes, hopefully, red tire smoke. I've actually got my PS2 with Fast and Furious also on my desk here, which I can connect with HDMI to my monitor, and then I can play. I've even got a capture card so I could theoretically stream. Though the only problem with that is I wouldn't hear the sound from the game because my monitor doesn't have speakers. Wait, is this your rear-engined? Mid-engined? Oh, okay. So mid-engined key car hatchback. That's... I mean, it says it in the name as well. So that's cool. That's definitely something I haven't seen before. Sort of like a key car version of a Renault Clio V6. So like a Twingo. Well, but a Twingo is not a key car. I guess it's kind of like the previous gen Twingo, because obviously they couldn't keep the mid-engine drive layout for that long, because that would have been fun, right? So the latest gen one is a front-engine front-wheel drive again. This is the Mirage Cup car. It's also mid-engine river drive. It's got a 1.6 inline 4, 329 horsepower. Okay, nice livery as well. I do think that the Scarab in season 5 of our community challenge had probably the best livery. Maybe the Iris. The Mara was nice too, but I think the Scarab and the Iris definitely took the definitely had a more detailed and a cooler livery, in my opinion. We're working with some downforce here. Not huge downforce, but definitely a decent amount. Okay, I mean, I can go back once more, but you know, we gotta make up our mind here. Cross plies. 175, 600 diameter, 13-inch rim size. Okay, I'll go with that. Hopefully I actually can. Because I think when it went with cross plies earlier, the maximum allowable width was like 155s. Ah, yeah, because the tire's diameter was too small. There we go. No problem. But yeah, does anybody know the Fast and Furious video game from like I guess from like 2005 or whenever it came out? Has anyone played it? No? Okay. I did get that car, but I haven't actually checked it out yet because we're doing automation exports here. And it should be in BeamNG. I hope that it loads correctly and everything. But yeah, since we jumped into automation first, you're not seeing it here yet. So this definitely looks like a precursor to a Dodge Viper, as the name would suggest. It's got a 3.8 liter, again turbocharged V6. Like, what is with all of these turbo engines? Have we even had a single naturally aspirated one? Other than the, what was the taxi called again? Nocturne's car? Other than that, have you even had a naturally aspirated engine today? Like turbos everywhere. Imagine that Toy Story meme. Turbos. Turbos everywhere. Yeah, the Maharaja. Other than that, I don't think we've seen a single naturally aspirated car. Oh yeah, the Mara Paragon as well. With the 2.3 liter inline 4. We got basically no real downforce here. We got some rear downforce, but not a lot, and definitely a lot of lift on the front. So yeah. Let's see what this will do. I mean, not every car needs to be a race car, obviously. And somehow I've already gone for half an hour without even driving a single car yet, but here we are. I'm shocked, yeah. Alright, then this one, the Scarab Meteor, 2.2 liter Boxer 4, turbocharged once again. Front engine, rear drive, 49-51 weight distribution, almost 50-50. I mean, I expect good engine tuning from Grid Ghost, and yeah, there we go. Very torquey. A little bit of downforce, maybe? Yeah, a little bit on the rear. A little bit less than normal lift on the front, thanks to that lip. But yeah. Okay. Let's export this one as well. Yeah, you can thank Grid Ghost for that teacup. He submitted 5. I don't know if I'm gonna drive all of them, but let's quickly go through them. And here's another turbocharged car, this time a 2 liter inline 4 with 242 horsepower. That looks kind of RX-7-esque. Yeah, very RX-7-esque. If it were yellow, it would look even more like it, I guess. Dude, guys, what's your favorite color on an FD RX-7? Mine is definitely yellow. Yellow, yeah. Light green, yeah, I can see that. Works well. What tires do we have on this? Medium compound, 185s on the front and 225s here, okay. It's a bit of an odd choice. Especially given that this is front engined. Okay. I mean, we'll see how it drives, maybe. in the air. Meant to be more or less stock. Oh, yeah, but most cars wouldn't have like that significant of a difference between front and rear tire width, I think. You'd probably either find 225s all around or maybe 205 front and 225 rear. That would have been a little bit more common, but I mean, it's fine. And I'll also, now that I've looked at all of these cars, I'll also show you cars that I made that I'm also going to be driving. The one you've already seen on the Discord before and in the thumbnail. This is basically my my idea of what a... although the visuals could still be polished up a little bit, especially on the front end. This is basically, from a mechanical standpoint, what my idea of a new entry-level sports car should be. It's lightweight. It's only got 2 seats, not 4. It's a manual transmission, 6-speed, of course, rear drive, 50-50 weight distribution, lightweight, and the engine is actually an inline-5. And now, of course, you could go inline-4, or you could go, yeah, I can turn the music down a bit. Or you could go Boxer 4, I guess, like the GR86. You could go, well, but here's the thing: especially if you wanna like make a if you wanna make an impact as a new sports car manufacturer, and you come along with an entry-level sports car that's got an inline-4 that's been done like, I don't know, hundreds of times before, you're not really bringing anything new to the table. And the Boxer 4 is already in the GT86 and GR86, and that wouldn't necessarily stop me from using it, but inline-5 is actually cheaper to make, and also, in my opinion, just sounds better. I mean, come on. Come on, this just sounds better. And tire-wise, we've got the sports compound tires, 225s all around. And surprisingly, in BeamNG, this actually does 0 to 100 in like 5 seconds flat with only 190 horsepower. It's pretty damn quick. It's gonna be cheap to insure. Doesn't use a whole lot of fuel. 7.3 liters. And costs 25 grand. Supposedly. This is already in BeamNG, I don't need to export this again, so that's car number 1. And the other one is the alternative version of my Season 2 race car, which I mentioned briefly in the Discord. So you know the car, and you know it with a 2.4 liter turbocharged flat-plane V8. This one has a 3 liter V10 naturally aspirated, and I figured, you know, if F1 cars in the early 2000s could get almost 1,000 horsepower from a 3 liter V10, surely I can get 500. And yeah, it took quite an aggressive tune and a lot of quality. But I did eventually get there. And of course, this is gonna sound absolutely crazy in BeamNG. Other than price, this meets all of the rules and regulations for Season 2 requirements. The price is too high because of all the quality I've had to use on the engine, but yeah. And this is also already in BeamNG, so I don't need to export again. So, yeah. Let's move over to BeamNG. I don't have my Be Right Back screen. I'm gonna make a new one, so excuse the black screen for just a moment while BeamNG loads. Professional streamer here, of course. Let's go to the handling circuit, because a lot of these cars are like small and lightweight and nimble little cars. Of course, we're gonna mix it up later on, but for now, let's start with the handling circuit. Not gonna do a time trial, but yeah. I think this was the first. This has extremely quick turning, which I think would probably be a little bit better with a wheel. Because as you can see, if I turn hard with a controller, sometimes it even lifts an inside wheel off. This definitely feels like an early 80s hot hatch for sure. It is not a slow car. It feels right at home here in these twists and turns. As long as you keep the engine in its happy rev range. Yeah, this is a fun little 80s hatchback for sure. Like, I could see turning this into a Group B car for the for some of the lower end classes, like Jonas suggested. And we did actually do, when I did the classic rally competition in 2020, we did actually do one season of the 2-liter class in Group B, where obviously if you went turbo, you could only use whatever 2 liters divided by 1.4 comes out to. It's like 1.4 something liters. So yeah, this would do. I think this would do well in that category. Especially since the minimum weight was also, I think, 840 kilos, which this is under at the moment. So yeah. Thumbs up for that little white hatchback. Hello Jontu and hello Aero Racer. Right, so this has a lot of wheel spin. And yet another car that I think would probably be better with a wheel. As I saw some rotation of the rear end when on the braking, and that's almost certainly deliberate. Definitely requires a lot more focus than the last car. I feel like this car never stopped spinning its wheels around this track for the full lap. Look at that. This is how you know you've got too much power, kids. I was trying to kind of get it to rotate around on the braking, but it's actually harder than you might think. Yeah, and when it does happen, you gotta know how to correct it. I'm sure if I practice a little bit more, I'll get the hang eventually, but you can use the brake to turn it into a corner. That's nice. So yeah, pretty crazy early 80s hot hatch. Probably too much power, but fun nonetheless. Oh, as soon as you have one wheel on the grass, it's bad news. Ah, come on. Okay. Two wheels there. Lots of body roll on this one. Maybe lower the suspension a bit. Stiffen the sway bars. It's got the classical, like, super quick turn in that I've come to expect from NDD's cars. This is, for what it's trying to be, it's a bit too floaty. Needs stiffer sway bars for sure, and maybe you could lower the ride height. Like, okay, there's quite a bit of suspension travel that I can see still. Yeah, you can definitely lower the car a bit. Let's try this and see if we can get some red tire smoke. Yeah, Togue Racing is actually, from my understanding and from what it is in the Fast and the Furious game, it's basically one a point-to-point race down a winding mountain road that you could that they also do drift races on, but in those events it's about who finishes fastest, so you actually don't want to drift. Okay, sadly no red tire marks or red tire smoke. Can't do that with many cars, like drift through the chicane and actually not spin on the transition. So this is a very well sorted chassis for sure. Maybe a little bit of understeer through the longer corners, but I was looking at chat right there. This is indeed an inline 3, but heavily turbocharged, and it makes 276 horsepower, so nice drift there at the end. Are there any like any car related like news going on in your personal life? Have you maybe maybe like gotten a new car or done some upgrades to your car? Maybe something broke, you had to fix it. Anything? What do we do? Let's no, I'm gonna save this for later when we go and do some rallying. Let's go with this. Because for me, I haven't really had anything like with my current car, the 2006 Mini Cooper. But what I will say is that I've decided that since I have a fairly good job now, that it's time to save up to later on buy one of my dream cars, one of my childhood heroes, I guess, which would be a Nissan 350Z. I'm planning on potentially buying one next year when I find the right one. Man, after all of these like sub 1000 kilo cars, this car, which if I remember correctly weighs like 1300 kilos or something, it feels big and sluggish in terms of its handling, and that's compared to like most modern cars it wouldn't, but in this field it does feel like the front end is just a little bit lazy, and sometimes it understeers like that. You can of course always do this. There's enough torque for that, but the initial steering response from those smaller, lighter cars just isn't there, and to be fair, you can't really expect that either. But yeah, the engine is extremely quiet, you basically can't hear it. Okay, and that's the limit out there. I was being really aggressive there. Okay, so you changed the tires from 215s to 220. Okay. Yeah, let's try this as well. So, as I said, I do want to get myself a 350Z next year, and I'm gonna wait until I find the right one. I'm not gonna just buy the first one I find. I want, first of all, I want a coupe, not a roadster. I want a manual, not the automatic, and I want the car to be in its sort of press color, the orange. You know, I think that color fits perfectly with the 350Z, and I think it's just a timeless design overall. Don't really care whether it's the original 280 horsepower or the later facelift with 300 or the HR engine with 313. All three engines are pretty good and reliable. Don't really care too much which one of the three it's gonna be. What I do also wanna somewhere actually. Okay. Driving impressions from this. I mean, obviously, the elephant in the room is the engine power, but handling-wise, it's actually quite nice. It has a little bit of roll like you would expect from a taxi. Not too much, but it turns nicely. It doesn't have any meaningful amount of oversteer or understeer really. Quite balanced. Haven't really had the chance to test the brakes because haven't really gotten it up to speed. but handling wise in these corners, it's actually quite nice. You can sort of keep your foot down all the time here. A little bit of a lift there. And you can do a lot with engine braking as well for these corners. But you only need to scrape off like 10-15 kilometers an hour. Just shift down a gear and do a little bit of engine braking here, and you're already slowed down. So the brakes on this car are gonna last a long time because you don't actually need them very often. So that's a selling point for the car, I guess. I actually wonder what this would be like around here, whether it's just way too powerful, which probably will be. That little straight there past the finishing line, before I just slowed down, I hit like 140 kilometers an hour, which is like twice the speed that I ever went with the Maharaja. But anyway, you still have a few cars to go. I wonder what this, I mean, no, we're gonna drive that on a different track. This should maybe be fun here. We already lost the front splitter, so let's take this to another track later. Let's drive that RX-7 here, shall we? Almost no engine noise at all. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I can barely hear it. And again, there goes the front splitter. Let's go to the main track. Well, you know what? Let's go to Hirochi. Six seconds, 0 to 100, not bad. Let's do the short track. And if I haven't driven on this track for a while, so now I forgot that right-hander actually tightens. bit sideways there. Stable on the braking, good turning. So the 185 front tires don't seem to be hurting it that much. Let's try another route. Oversteer in this is indeed quite nice and progressive. Yeah, overall a well-balanced car. I don't know if this is for some kind of competition or whatever. But if the rules allow for it, I think this car could handle a bit more power. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you this in action, didn't I? Didn't actually drive this yet. So obviously, let's turn everything off. 5.1 seconds there. I could use this as sort of the reference car for my future competitions. Sort of like in F1 they always have the safety car or whatever, because it just drives that good, and it's yeah, obviously it's gonna be slower than the cars we actually race with in pretty much any season. But just to get a feel for a track, I love this car. I spent so much time on the engineering and on the fine-tuning of the handling that I think I eventually got it just right. It can handle about, but I restricted it to 1.2 power to weight in automation. 0.12 sounds more like it, yeah. One point two doesn't really make much sense because I don't think it has only 20% more weight than power, let alone 20% more horsepower than it weighs. So 0.12 seems to make more sense. While we're on a racetrack, let's try this and see if this works also. This has, I think you said, teacup 2150 Newton meters. How much power is in this? Let's turn everything off, of course, immediately. Okay. Zero to 100 in 1.85 seconds. Okay, it needs better brakes, or I was going so fast that 1.79. Or maybe I was going so fast I just needed to brake earlier. Here's the thing, it doesn't sound like you're doing 1,000,000 miles an hour, but you are. Now it does. Sorry for the lack of commentary, but I have to focus here. Like, Jesus Christ. Actually, I had a better 0 to 100 time earlier when I just did this. Okay, that time it didn't count. Now this is of course not a racing car, but if it wanted to be one, it would need more downforce. I mean, that is pretty much obvious, but this is just absolutely ludicrously fast. I mean, watch the speedo now. When you actually get used to the speeds of this thing, and when you and when you brake accordingly and manage your speed so you actually brake early enough to make it round the corner, the handling is actually not bad at all for such a big car. But you just need to, like, you can't go like, oh, I'm gonna go through this corner in second gear, high RPM or whatever. There's no second gear. And you can't really judge just by the tone of the engine how fast exactly you're going at the time. And I honestly, guys, when I'm driving, I almost never look down at the speedo in the bottom right. I pretty much exclusively look at the car and the line I'm taking. And so this makes it hard for me to, like, usually I kind of hear what sort of what gear I'm in and what sort of speed I'm at, because I know roughly how long each gear is with the car. But with this, I have to change my driving habits. When this thing sees a straight line, it just absolutely flies. Stupid of that. Okay. Anything we haven't done? Yeah, let's try this. And also, I would like to try some of these cars on like a timed lap around Spa, maybe. Change, you do need to be careful with the throttle. Otherwise, very nicely balanced car. Agile, grippy. Downforce probably slowing it down a bit in the straight. I feel like it could be a bit faster with the power it does have. But of course, this I assume is a racing car, and so it needs that downforce. 1386 horsepower, 2173 newton meters on that car. I believe it. Definitely feels like that. I haven't driven this yet, or the key car. Let's try this one real quick on the short track layout, and then I'll try the buggy, the HFF, but on a different course. I don't know. I don't know where I'd drive the HFF. Dude, 8.48 seconds, 0 to 100 for a 660cc key car. Not bad. Funnily enough, both the body style and the power understeer that this actually has, a little bit at least, would make you think that that this is front engine front wheel drive, but of course it's mid-engined rear wheel drive. Initial turn in is good, and then on power on exit it likes to power understeer actually, which is of course safe for the potential buyers. But yeah, you can have some fun with this. Not really in terms of drifting, but it's just overall handling characteristics are pretty fun for sure. Let's go this way. I mean, you could do mid-engine and then all-wheel drive and send all the power to the front to effectively make the car front-wheel drive. But why would you? Think about the engineering of that. You're going through all the effort of turning what is supposed to be a front-engined, you know, mini hatchback, and converting that into a mid-engined car, only to then run the drive shaft all the way to the front wheels and to only send power there. Like, think about that. Anyway, where do we go with the HFF? Any ideas where I should test that car? Got a whole bunch of Utah, small island, okay. Utah. Whatever has some dirt trails. You know what? I'm thinking of this. Okay, so Excuse me? Oh, there we go. Of course, really shocked here. You can initiate the drift really nicely with this. Just by turning. Oh no. Yep. That's exactly what I knew was gonna happen when I said oh no. I should do a season of my racing series with buggies like these. The hill, screaming. It also takes the bumps really well. This is a lot of fun. I'm gonna be honest, yeah. Like this, I can see myself doing a season with cars like this. What body did you use for this, by the way? It's a really small one, obviously. I'll go check. Okay. Spa, or do we go to Suzuka? We could also go to Sepang, but I don't know the track there. Let's go to Spa. Suzuka? Okay. Suzuka GP circuit. Let's do... Not with this though. I mean, as fun as it is, it's not gonna be good there. I'm gonna try and send a few laps with this car, and then I'm gonna try some of the other cars. I'm just gonna start with this one because I'm, I guess, more comfortable with this and more used to. It's the 2-meter key car body. Okay. Here also seems more slippery than like in Spa. This sounds like an old F1 car as well. 5.4. That's one hell of a lap around Suzuka. I mean, I'm not expecting this to match it. I just want to see what this is like around here. Understeer there. Remember, different tracks have different grip levels. Here it turned in nicely. Steer again. This is good in some corners early in the lap. I did notice some understeer a little bit, not much, but I think it could use just a tad more downforce, or front downforce, I should say specifically. Just like 1 or 2 points more in automation, that often already makes a difference. You know what the other track I'd like to see in BeamNG? Fuji Speedway. Getting late there on the brakes. Oh, it's on sports tires, okay. I'm just not focusing enough right now. I'm looking more at chat. But anyway, the previous lap in this was at 219.6. That's decent for a car on road tires and with a 194 engine. Gonna try some more cars here. What do we have? I'm interested in this one. This is also on road tires, definitely, right? I think it costs about a tenth of yours. Mine was $180,000 in automation. Okay, reset. We don't have downforce here. Can't break that late with this one. Should be obvious though. I mean, the other one had like a huge rear wing, and this one has just a little one. I was wondering what would happen whenever it does that, because it does have a slight rearward weight bias. To be a little bit quick with this in order to catch it. That was a big time loss, and it wasn't even intentional, that one. Like, you do have to be really careful on throttle with this through the corners. Case in point. But on the straights, it's actually pretty quick. Not sure what this is built for, but I can see this making a pretty decent drift car. Okay, so it's kind of supposed to be a drift car then. Just a turbocharged BRC alternative, I guess. Though, it has to be said, you do really need to want oversteer in order to get it with this one. I mean, at least in second gear corners, of course, oversteer is just a millisecond away if you want it, but it does grip up nicely otherwise. Anything for the last one for today? What do we... This is either gonna set a new best time or it's gonna be awful. Actually, it only weighs 1,384 kilos. I thought this was much heavier. Okay. Right, already got a break before the first marker, I guess. I love how, you know, this is kind of a competitor going to teacup for the Koenigsegg Chimera, and I love how with the Koenigsegg it's like, hey, we've got the world's fanciest and most powerful three-cylinder engine, and we got hybrid technology with four electric motors, and you know, we developed these electric motors in-house because they're super lightweight and really powerful, and the car costs like, I don't know, $2 or $3 million, and then Teacup is like, well, we got just as much power and performance, but we just took a big old V8. Crap, it was going so good. The Chimera is 2,300 horsepower. That's the V8 version of the Chimera. The inline 3 version has, gosh, what was it, 1700, 1600, something like that. So still more than this, but it also weighs a fair bit more. But anyway. Let's try the Viper, because that sounds sort of intimidating. Medium tires, lots of torque. Okay, so sideways action. This is actually a really well-balanced car. And there's me too late on the brakes again for that corner. On the first lap I'm sort of feeling it out, you know, seeing where its limits are. And then the second lap I'm gonna try and maybe go a little bit faster. Oh yeah. 204.6 on that split when the like Teacup's car finished the lap in that time. Its first lap anyway, and my car was not far behind. But yeah, obviously this doesn't have 1300 horsepower or 500 horsepower and like a massive amount of aero and semi-slicks. I feel like this could be a good sort of teaching car, like the sort of cars they use at racetrack to teach people how to drive quickly. Because it's well behaved when you get it right, and you do still need to be somewhat mindful of too much throttle in the corner, or else it's gonna oversteer. And you know, both. And that's also something that obviously you need to learn as a racing driver. So if Mitsubishi and Dodge would have worked together. Okay. I don't remember, did Mitsubishi make anything like this in the 80s? They had the Starion. But did they even make a V6 sports car in the 80s? Because both the FTO and also the 3000 GT came later in the 90s. 230.4. Okay. No, they didn't make a V6 sports car in the 80s. Well, anyway, like, again, this is actually pretty nice to drive, and I feel like this would be a good like two-door car, or what do you call them at the racetrack? The ones that they give to beginners to learn how to drive fast. That's what I would feel comfortable with, this being one of those cars. Because yeah, it feels fast, you know, it's got some power, but it's not overwhelming, and it has a decent handling balance to it, where when you get it right, you can drive very nice and clean and fast laps. But you do also need to be mindful of the torque only going to the rear wheels, and when you overdo it, it's gonna oversteer. But even when it does, it's controllable. You just lose time, obviously. And I think that's gonna do it for today. Thanks everyone for watching. I enjoyed the stream. Hope you did too. And if time allows for it, I would stream more often. But with my current work schedule, it's unfortunately not possible very often. And especially when I do have videos to make for the racing series. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.